Hello guys and welcome back to another episode of After the Devs, where myself and a fellow community member or content creator break down and summarize all the information that was given to us by the Coffee Stain Studio dev team for Satisfactory the Tuesday prior. So that would be on the 27th of October. We are going to jump straight into it, but if you do want to check out the actual VOD of the dev stream, I will put the link below. Anyway, let's get started. So today I want to welcome Samueras to the stage, a fellow content creator. For a lot of you, you probably already know of him, but for those of you who don't out there, would you like to give us a little rundown as to what you do?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, well, I'm Samueras. I do guides and showcases on YouTube. I usually try to go a little bit more into depth and into the technical side with my content. That's my main stick. I stream a little bit, but the guides and tips, that's my main stick.
Yep, so you stream on YouTube on a Saturday and then you go over to Twitch on a Sunday, if I remember rightly.
Yes.
Yeah, perfect. So do check him out. And this week we're going to be talking about the new update that has dropped, the Fluid update, update 3.5, and also covering what the Coffee Stain community devs were talking about in the live stream on Tuesday the 27th. Almost got the dates confused then. Oh, sorry, go on.
Yeah, well, with the Fluid update dropping, they have been mainly doing that. They done the Fluid update and have all the work hours there.
Yeah, so, yeah, as far as state of the development goes, they've been working on the Fluid update. They all looked pretty exhausted. They then went on to go and talk about the feature teaser discussion and also the Fluid update release video, which they aired at the end of stream. And along with that, we had the patch notes that have been released to, at least on Discord. I think they're probably online on their website as well. And the first thing that they went on to talk about was that in the teaser trailer, there is no third person in this update.
Yeah, and that wasn't even the only red herring they placed there. The song, which was just a reference to Metal Gear Solid, and Samueras hadn't to say anything. The Mark II pamps, which they placed 40 meters apart instead of the 50 they could have been. Of course, the third person, like you said. I'm really on the edge there if I like those red herrings, but what do you think about the red herrings in the teaser and what that means for doing breakdowns of those?
Yeah, I mean, as a content creator, it's always nice to have something to sink my teeth into and get some conspiracy theories going. And I think that equally when people do this kind of thing, it gives them something to joke about and talk about in their live streams as well, which is always fun. It gives a bit more banter between the community, which is nice. The next thing that they went on to showcase were the ladders.
Yeah, I was really surprised and happy to see those ladders because they actually explained that you don't have a velocity check anymore if you're falling, so you can grab on to the ladder no matter how fast you are falling. And I didn't know that was a thing before they mentioned it. So I was falling regularly from my towers and stuff and trying to grab on my conveyor stack ladders, and was unable to because technical things. I just thought I was unable to and just not good enough in the game, you know. So I'm happy that I'm able to do that now. And also I really like that you can just place them on the walls without any other supports.
Yep, so when it comes to building, you can both place them directly onto walls and you can also free build them as well, so as to where you want. Great for exploring as well as in your base. And the other thing to mention about them is their drag and drop. So you can place it and then drag your mouse up, a bit like you would with the train rails. And it will just give you an extended length, which is really nice. And you can also build them underneath foundations, which was a rather interesting addition as well.
Yeah, very true. I hope this extending they did, I hope they're going to implement that more for walls and foundations
Yeah,
and stuff. I would really love to see those.
yeah, I think that would be really nice, especially for foundations. A lot of people have that problem as well. They then went on to the pipes. So the big thing that they've added is the Mark II pipes with 600 cubic meters flow rate, and they have mentioned, although people want it already, that there won't be any Mark III pipes, at least not for the time being, due to technical limitations.
Yeah.
I should also mention that they require tier 7, and that's because they use aluminium or aluminum alclad sheets and plastic to create. And Jace even joked a bit about fart gases, I believe, in the pipe. And then he kind of went on and said, just on like throwing it out, just saying, oh yeah, we're still working on gases.
I mean, I don't think it's too far-fetched. You have all everything in place you need. You have the pipes, you have refineries. You can all reuse them. You don't have to make anything new there. The only thing they probably have to redo is the fluid mechanics. They have to, well, update that for gases. But other than that, it's probably not too far-fetched that we're really going to see that.
Yeah, I mean, I like to think that they're going to bring gases to the game as a usable resource, but it could just be a joke. It could be another one of those red herrings that they've released into us, the community.
Will we see a steam power generator?
Oh yeah, we do have Steam. That's already been confirmed. But having Mark II pipes does allow us to finally overclock our nuclear power plants, should we wish to.
Yeah.
Which is nice. And pipes can also be upgraded from Mark I to Mark II with just the same style upgrade as conveyors. So point and click the upgrade and it happens, which is awesome.
Yeah, sadly the same is not possible for pumps, even though we have to say it's not said that might change if many people wish it, and it isn't really necessary anyways. I mean, the Mark II pumps have the higher head lift, 50 meters, but they cost 3 times the energy. They cost 12 megawatts. So there's really no reason to upgrade from Mark 1 to Mark 2 pumps. The whole thing with Mark 2 pumps is that you don't have to place as many, but if you have already placed the Mark 1 pumps, it should be fine. What I really, really like though is that you can rotate them finally. So it's got a lot easier to not clip them. And it's made even easier because they changed the size of the pump, actually. They reduced it by 25%.
Yep, so it was mentioned in the Fluid update release video that it's been reduced in size by about 25%. And then I think Snup mentioned in the live stream that it was about 70% the size. So which one, I'm not sure, but it's certainly around 75% of the original size. And just to go off the head lift, which you mentioned of it being 50 meters, there is like a 10% leeway as well. So you could get 55 meters. But
yeah, I mean, yes, you can. But I wouldn't build with it. I would let it as a safety margin and just calculate out a little bit the strangeness of fluid dynamics, I guess.
Well, the good thing is you don't need to calculate the distance anymore for the pumps. So there's now a feedback on the head lift so that you can see exactly where you need to place the next pump in line, and the pumps are snappable to that spot, which is really nice. Really good quality of life addition that we needed. And I should again mention that it's tier 7 because you're going to require 2 motors, which made sense because pump Mark 1 was requiring rotors originally, but also 8 plastic and 4 alclad aluminium sheets.
Yeah.
We then went on to talk about, they went on to talk about the valve. And so this allows us to set a max flow rate for a given pipe, which is really nice. It does stop backflow without requiring power as well, and it doesn't stop headlift. So it's just another little addition there.
Yeah, I have a little bit different view on that. So, I mean, first off, valves come with fuel, so you get them actually pretty late. Second, the flow limiting, I don't see real much use in there. I wish they would have done a smart valve, which only if it uses as an overflow, basically, like you suggested it.
Yeah.
Even though you can do it with pipes already, but it's nice to have it more easy. But with just limiting the flow rate, that basically has the same effect than just underclocking the buildings behind that. So I don't see much use in that. The only real use I see is that you can use it as a backflow stop without stopping headlift, because you could use the pumps at a backflow stop, but it destroyed your headlift.
Yeah.
Even though also for that there are not really much use cases where you really need it.
The one case that I can see myself using it at the moment, at least, is if I've set the ratios up for fuel and I need X amount to go for fuel to a fuel packaging plant, and the rest to go to, say, a fuel generator plant. Again, like you mentioned, you could underclock, but it would be nice to have that amount just separated, and I don't need to worry about that anymore, or what else is in the pipes. But I would like to see a kind of pressured overflow system. But I think the important thing to take away from this more than anything else is we have splitters, we have smart splitters, we have programmable splitters. So for me, this just suggests that we have valves. We could well see a smart or pressurized valve overflow system coming at a later date, which would be really cool.
Yeah, very true.
They then went to talk about jump pads in the video. So we now have one type of jump pad that is configurable, and the plate now has better trajectory, so we can see where we're going to be flying more or less. And these can now be placed on walls and ceilings, which was the interesting thing that I took away from that little teaser video.
Very true. I think new jump pads are really good for short travel. I actually think they outperform hypertubes there now, unless you don't have the room. For longer distances, I am going to still prefer the hypertubes though. But especially this building them on wall and ceilings is really cool. You can also do that now with the power poles. They switched to the wall outlets, and you can place them actually on foundations and on ceilings as well. And not only that, I did some testing, and you can place hypertube and pipe wall supports on foundations and on ceilings as well.
Okay, so could we place, for example, pumps on the ceilings? Because obviously you can place them directly onto the walls. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I tested it. Sadly, no. Pumps and the pipe crossings don't go on foundations, don't go on ceilings. But what does go on foundations, even though not the ceilings, is the conveyor wall mounts. So you can have them on the foundations without a wall, but sadly not on the ceiling again.
Yeah, so if you do want to place walls above you, I guess you're just going to have to keep on doing the same trick that we've been doing, which is placing walls and then connect them up using walls overhead and then deleting the walls. But you never know.
There's one new thing in there, though. So if you build a merger or a splitter on a ceiling from below, you actually build it in that foundation. So what you basically can do is you build just a 4-meter foundation under a roof, and build the merger or splitter in that, and delete the foundation, and you have, well, a merger on the ceiling.
Okay.
And you can even place pipe wall supports above it that looks like it's hanging from the ceiling. So I really like that one.
Okay, that's a pretty cool idea. I'll give you that. They then went on to talking about using experimental. So for those of you who don't know, experimental saves will be transferred over to early access when the experimental goes to early access. And if you want to play around with the experimental build, for Epic Game users, you can just go to the experimental game in your library. And if you're on Steam, you have to do something a bit finicky, which is, I think you go over to properties, and from there there's a drop down list, and you have to enter like the beta experimental stage and then accept that, and then you can use it. They then went on to talk about the refineries, and so the legacy refineries, they're still able to pack and unpack liquids. We mentioned that last week. However, do not change the recipe in your manufacturing lines. I did that, and I have now ruined my manufacturing line. You cannot select it afterwards.
Yeah, but I really like that they do the legacy stuff now. They do the same with the jump pads, and it just makes sure that your factory basically works after an update, and you can change it at your own pace or don't change it at all. So I really appreciate that. But what I really want to speak about is the new model of the refiners. They are so beautiful. The triangle animations thingy, it's gorgeous. Really, really well done.
It looks really nice. Although someone mentioned to me in the live stream yesterday, it looks a bit like a coffee machine. And ever since they've said that, that's all I can see.
Huh. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but yeah, I can totally see that. I wonder if they did that on purpose, though.
Maybe. If you look at the hub, there's another section that if you look at it in the right position, it looks like you have googly eyes on your hub, and now I cannot unsee it. Whenever I look at it, it's just there, the two eyes.
Why did you tell me that? I will never be able to unsee that now.
I'll put a link behind so that everyone can see it. Torture you all. Moving on from that. So there are 2 new recipes.
Really?
Yes, so 2 alternate recipes. Instead of making empty canisters with plastic, you can now also do it with steel ingots and also iron plates and copper sheets. So
Oh, that is really useful. Depending on what you're packaging, that is really, really useful.
yes. And speaking of the packager, moving on, really nice segue here. The machine that we saw in teaser trailer 2, that we were like, what is this mystery building? Well, that was the packager. So it was a new building, but we already knew about it.
Yeah, that's the kind of red herring I like. I mean, basically, it was into there. It was a new building, even though we knew what the building is going to be. But that's fine. But having red herrings, not to do with anything, that's where I go on the edge.
No, I think it's good to keep us second guessing. They then go on to the Unreal Engine update. So after this current 3.5 build goes from experimental to early access, we will be receiving an engine update. So we're going to 4.25, which is going to include various optimizations and some fixes to multiplayer bugs, but nothing major, no new gameplay. And yeah, like I said, this will probably be implemented after the experimental build goes to early access, which will probably be in about 2 weeks.
Yeah, really like that they're doing that. I mean, the update to the new engine doesn't give us anything in the hand to play around with, but it is going to be the basis for many optimizations they can do. And with that, it also brings us nearer to the dedicated servers and stuff like that. So yeah, I really appreciate to see that they are still working strong on stuff like that.
After that, they moved on to the community highlights, which there were some great community highlights as always. We don't actually talk about them really. We tend to just glance over them. If you do want to check them out, I recommend checking out the stream. The link will be placed below. They even highlighted your 5x5 challenge this week.
Oh yeah, true, they did. Was pretty happy to see that, though I was really, really surprised that I have not seen more entries for the 5x5 challenge. That's what they showcased from me.
Yeah.
And there have to be more content creators out there, or at least players out there who are doing the 5x5. I can't believe that. Well, together with you, Runestone, Snut, and me, we are the only ones that's that. I can't believe that.
I think Respawn Repeat's also doing it, and I've heard a few others, like in my streams coming in and giving them a go. I raided someone the other day who was doing it, and I was like, oh, what a
Really?
lovely coincidence. But I can't remember.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, I want to see more of them. I hope they are going to, well, maybe answer Snut's call to arms and send some screenshot in. Also, the content creator highlight this time was you. I would say pretty lucky to have been there on the big patch announcement stream.
Yeah.
Even though Snut did some snarky comments to your power battery.
Yeah, so Snut did mention that he's going to write the official rules and that I would be disqualified. So for that, Snut, the ball is in your court. It's your move. You write the rules, and all I can say is, game on. No, it was very kind of them. I feel very, very lucky. Moving on from that, they went on to their no dismantle section, where Jace builds his ever-growing, chaotic mess. I'm sorry, it's not a mess. it's getting that way, though. I can do a better job. I dread the idea of doing that kind of challenge. So that was all that was really covered in the stream. There are other things that we've also hinted at that have come with the update. I'm sure myself and other content creators like Samueras here are going to be covering it in the coming weeks. We don't want to spoil it all for you just yet. And with that out the way, we should probably mention the community events that are coming up. So first of all, one's just passed. You did your community event on Sunday. How did that go?
Oh, it was really fun. I mean, all of those have really fun, but we're getting in the groove now, getting a little bit more routine, and the contestants have been really great.
Who was the winner this week?
Blindus.
Sweet. Well, congratulations.
Well, we had some people dropping out because of illness, and he went in on, well, pretty much last notice.
And he took the flame.
he took the flame totally with him. By the way, I'm always looking for more contestants. That's actually the most problematic thing on this competition. All the contestants always really, really have much fun, but it's really hard to find them. Mostly I need to actively looking for them. So if somebody feels the call of arms, they have about 1 more week to contact me.
Okay.
And then if they don't do it in that time, they're probably going to miss a chance to compete in this season. There's going to be a season 2 with some changes though, but this season will be finished. Well, the applications for contestants is going to be finished in about a week's time.
Okay, sweet. Other things that we should mention are the multiplayer games that are going on at the moment for the community. So Runestone has one on every Friday, which we've mentioned the past 2 weeks. I do one on a Saturday. I'm having a few problems with crashes, but with any luck, when the Unreal Engine is updated, we'll be able to have a few less crashes our way. And the other big event that I really want to mention is the November the 7th huge event that we're going to be doing. Yep, you've got a mini game that you're working on for it, haven't you? I've got one.
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, Satisfactory Tips, the website that we run, is going to be hosting a event. We've got over £200 worth of prizes, so it's going to be a big one. anyone has the chance to win. We've already got a screenshot competition that has started for that, so do check out the website for information on that or our Discord. But we're really excited with that. It'll be 7th of November at 6 p.m. BST, GMT now. Oh, changing
Good
times.
to see.
So what I should also mention at this point is if you are a content creator and you do have a community event planned with a given date, do let us know so that we can mention it in the following weeks. We are all about growing and sustaining the community here. So, yeah, that kind of sums it up for this week. I'd like to say a special thank you to Samueras for joining us. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. I'm pretty happy to have been here. Really have been a blast.
Well, I'm sure we'll bring you back soon. I will say for now, as always, ciao for now.
And have fun gaming.
So that does kind of sum it all up for this week. Special thanks does go to Samueras for joining us. Do check out his YouTube and his Twitch channel, and you can also find him on Twitter as well. I'll place all the links below. And to finish off, I do want to say a special thanks to all of our Patreon supporters, especially our Solar Eclipse Patreons, The Calamity, Bo Papa, and Tommy Ostgard, as well as our Lunar subscriber, Matt Lippard, and the Blood Moon of the Day, Papa Snoozy. Anyway, guys, we are going to leave it there. Until next time, thank you so much for watching. And as always, ciao for now.